This is Mary Jane, and today we are going to talk about our IELTS speaking band descriptors. All right, so if we are going to understand our IELTS speaking band descriptors, we actually have four of them. So let's go to these four strands. All right, so these are the four strands of the band descriptors. So you have there your fluency and coherence, your lexical resource, your grammatical range and accuracy, and your pronunciation. So we're going to try and understand them one by one if we can. All right, moving on. Let us move on to the first thing that we need to know. So you have here your fluency and coherence. So we always need to remember that this is about your rate of speech and whether you can continue speaking without stopping too much. It's also about how well you organize your let's see organize and order your ideas. So that's a very important thing. And how well you connect your ideas. So example, if you're going to use words like next, secondly, because of, or in order to. So that is fluency and coherence. Another descriptor would be your lexical resource. So this is about the range of accuracy of your language and how appropriate is your language that you use and how well you can, let's say, get around a gap in your language knowledge by using alternative words. Moving on to the next thing. All right, so we have here our grammatical range and accuracy. Now, for this one, this is actually about the length of your sentences, and if you're using a wide range of language structures. So, for instance, you have there your relative and subordinate clauses, your noun phrases. Accuracy is measured by the number of grammatical errors that you make and the effect of those errors on communication. And the last thing is, of course, your pronunciation. So this is about how understandable your speech is to the IELTS examiner. All right, now you want to get a band score of, let's say, 8.0. So that's something that we all want, right? So let's try to take a closer look at the different band descriptors and what should we do to get an 8.0, especially for the speaking test. So let's move on to the first thing again. We have here our fluency and coherence. So you speak English at normal speed or about the same as a native speaker. So you might sometimes repeat yourself. You may make occasional mistakes with the language, but you do correct yourself. So that's another crucial thing that you need to have. You usually keep talking, but you do hesitate at times in order to think about your ideas. So, example, you will be looking at your notes. So, that is okay. Or maybe the language, but yeah, usually this is rare. So, this is really important, especially for the part 2 IELTS speaking test. And if your ideas are well organized, so the IELTS examiner can understand your ideas easily. All right, next thing, we have our lexical resource. So for this one, you use a wide range of vocabulary and you sometimes use words with a precise meaning to put over your ideas. You also use some idiomatic expressions or language and some less common language, but you might make some errors. So example with collocations. But hopefully I will be able to make a video about collocations and we're going to learn more about that. And you can paraphrase language used in questions, especially for parts 2 and part 3 of the test. All right, moving on. We have here our grammatical range and accuracy. So you use a wide range of grammatical structures to put across your ideas. Most of your sentences are error free. I know sometimes that can be difficult, but it is actually achievable. And you make a few basic grammatical errors, but these don't get in the way of your communication. Next one, we have here our pronunciation. So for this, your accent is generally, let's say, easy to understand, although the IELTS examiner might not immediately understand some words, but that is okay. So you have good stress and intonation and words that run in together. For example, you have best time can be easily understood by the examiner. So I think if you want to get a good score for the speaking, you don't really need to sound like a native speaker. So even if, yeah, even to get a 9.0, so you don't really need to sound a native. So an accent is fine as long as you can easily be understood. So that's one thing we really need to remember. So hopefully we can also make some videos about pronunciation. So thank you so much and see you in the next videos.